Hi, how's it going? It's Vincent. Yeah, I know I haven't been on here in almost 2 months, and it's really strange because I know that the first few months of my channel I was just like, you know, my mind was swimming with so many ideas and I was watching my sub count like crazy, and I was getting excited just about being on the map in the mud flood mystery kind of hunter thing. Um, yeah, and I got lots of great feedback, and I really appreciate that. And some not so good feedback, especially as the numbers have started to go up. It's funny because I haven't made a video in 2 months, and my sub count has actually tripled since then. Somebody shared my Tartarian videos, I believe, or reposted it because the numbers, a couple of thousand on the first video, or maybe more, maybe 2.5. I don't know. It's not a numbers thing I'm trying to get at. What I'm trying to just talk about is, you know, I I'm just surprised at the attention that some of the videos have gotten. But I know I put like Tartarian in the title, and that's what gets you a lot of hits. I totally get that. But anyways, I've been gone for 2 months. I haven't made a video in almost that much time. Whenever that happens, me and my wife, um, we always worry something's happened. Like the deep state has got to them. Um, and that hasn't happened to me. I mean, the deep state pisses me off, and I've got my little posse of trolls saying dumb things to me. Um, but I'm still hunting for the mystery, the mud flood mystery. Um, some people have shot some holes in some of my theories, and that's fine. They were just theories. I really should go with the ancient aliens approach, the show, anyways, not the theory, but of putting everything into a question. Maybe I should call it the Jeopardy approach. Everything's in a question. So, what if there was a mud flood? Would that explain? Anyways, yeah. But really, the reason for my absence has been that I I'm kind of I'm a muse, motivated sort of person, and I do a lot of things creatively. I make music, and I make these videos. I've got kids, and I love hanging out with them. I run a construction company, and as you can imagine, this time of year is slamming. So I've been busy. I have a studio. I'm in it right now, and I've been working really hard on this album that's still not finished. But that's been kind of the main reasons, and also just the momentum I had going. I put out the Tartarian series there, maybe one or two after that, but yeah, I just my brain was just kind of burning out on just trying to get into all this information, all the things I was seeing. I went ahead and kept taking pictures and kept filing things away. And I got a whack to show you today. I figure it's been a couple months. This is probably going to be a long video. I hope I don't get too many phone interruptions. I know I got one friend maybe calling me a bit later on, but we're going to try to get through some of the stuff I've seen. We're going to go into some history. It's going to kind of be just a photo expose, mostly my own personal photos. And, we're just going to kind of go through some sites in Toronto. If you're in Toronto and you're interested in going mystery hunting, I really think some of these photos might be exciting to you. You may not realize just how much interesting architecture and strange symbolism and just sort of smacking of a seedy underworld our city is. I know there's more coming out about Canada these days, about our past, about the way we've done, the way we've done some things. I don't want to get into politics and that kind of stuff. I want to keep talking about the stuff that I like to focus on in this podcast or vlogcast, YouTube channel, which is just the mud flood phenomena and the mystery of our architecture and the mystery of our history in the northern part of this continent. And, I'll probably branch out, and look into other parts of the world. But man, in my own city, it's pretty wild. So yeah, I just want to start you guys off with some Royal York. So I let me just get my face a little smaller here for you. I'm sure you appreciate that. Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna slap on the gleaming reading glasses. I'll have shiny bug eyes for the rest of this podcast or vlogcast. I like that vlogcast. I haven't heard it, but it's kind of good. Okay, so I dropped my wife. My wife is some of you may know her actually. I mean, probably many of you know her, but Serotonin. That's my wife. I don't know why I haven't mentioned it before now. I've referred to her as Serotonin. Referred to my wife, but my wife's Serotonin, and she's an amazing vlogger, and she has been my inspiration for so many things, and we've researched a lot together. And I gotta say that just hearing the stories from some other people who are with someone who just thinks they're crazy for even thinking the stuff they're thinking, and or even looking into the things they're looking into, and it's really hard. It's really lonely, and I get that, man. I do, and I know that's why this community is so important to each other. We're so important to each other because it's hard to talk to people about this stuff, right? Like, it's hard to even, bring it up to strangers and coworkers, right? Because, and it's not even that people look at you like, oh, that's weird. A lot of times what I get is, no, man, no, I've looked into that, and that is stupid. There's no way there's chemtrails, or there's no way there's this or that, or like, it's people get angry, and I've recognized for myself that it's hard for me not to get angry. And when people rebuttal, my findings, I get an emotional response inside me, and I want to fight. And I'm trying to resist that, because I don't think that's the way to find the truth, is to get angry. I think there's a lot of people around that want us to get angry at each other, and that's why there's so much contrary news and contrary opinions, and we're just way too trusting of our sources, and we just go in wholeheartedly on what we decide is the truth. So I just want to send this encouragement out to you guys. Like, there's a lot of things in play here, and I think it's folly to try to hang on to any one theory for too tightly. I know my wife and I have had our minds changed many, many times. New information comes up, and this is not, for me, this isn't a debate channel. This isn't a place where I'm here to smear anyone or to prove, oh, I understand more than you. But a lot of people are out there with that kind of agenda. And I always think it's funny, too. I'm getting like, the people who are the most critical to me, the people who come in with saying some strange stuff, so often I go to their channel, there's zero content, there's no creative output, there's no research. They're kind of just there to cause shit, pardon my language. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to take the advice of some fellow vloggers of keeping it clean. But in that, it's BS, and they're not really, they're not adding anything to the community. I mean, if you want to debunk my theory, then please give me a different theory, or point me in the direction, or at least show me that you're trying to share some kind of knowledge through your channel. You're not just rolling around under some moniker with no content, just pooping on people, right? So anyways, see, I changed that word to poop now. Anyways, I'm sure you didn't just come in here to see this video and listen to me ramble on about the morals of vlogging. But I do have to say that they have succeeded, those trolls, a little bit, because it's taken away from my, it's taken away from a little bit of my vibrato around the subject when I've gotten a few nasty comments and a few people naysayers and laughers, and almost more than that, guys. It's the fellow truthers who want to like tell me I don't know anything and they know more than me, and how could I not know this and know that and know this? It's a big world and it's big history, and most of it, the history is not even real. So, or at least that's what I believe. So if we want to argue over what the facts are, that's what this whole flippin' thing is about. What are the facts? All we have is physical evidence and our speculations on that physical evidence, because if we're going to agree that we're being lied to, then we can really not really base much of our factual knowledge on facts, because the facts are not facts. So anyways, I'll stop there, guys, and I'm going to take you into some awesome sites in Toronto that you can go and check out at any time and have your mind blown. The Royal York Hotel. Look at this monstrosity, this amazing piece of architecture. Let's read a quick history of what we know, what we were told about the Royal York. Okay, the Royal York Hotel sits at 100 Front Street West, the southern end of the financial district, a business district in downtown Toronto. The hotel property is bounded by Piper Street to the north and York Street to the west, whereas its eastern portion is bounded by Royal Bank Plaza, an office complex that serves as the operational headquarters of the Royal Bank of Canada Union Station. Union Station is a sight to behold in itself. If you haven't seen Union Station, there it is. It is, and this is crazy. I was just down here watching the Raptors game a little while ago, a few weeks back, and this area here, I don't know if you see my mouse, but it just keeps curving around, almost like Piccadilly Circus in London. And it's an incredible long strip here with these pillars, and it just keeps going. But right across the street is the Royal York Hotel. It's this massive building full of imagery and things you can see. Now let's just take a look here, starting from the bottom. Now you may have seen. Oh, hold on a second. Now you may have seen some of the things as I was talking there. Some of the stuff I saw. Let's just go back here and take a look at my own pictures. I'm just hoping this music isn't too loud. It's sounding loud to me, but I've found that it's not always loud to you guys. But anyways, I'm going to turn it down just a tiny bit. Hey, excuse me, and we'll come back to my pictures of Royal York. Okay, so now some of the things that struck me first of all. Now, are these eagles? Are Tartarian eagles? Possibly, yes. They could also be phoenix. They kind of remind me of the phoenix sort of shapes. Now, I want you guys to look at something here. Now, you see these little curly guys? These curly whirlies around here? I have an emerging theory. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but we're going to see more and more of these curly whirlies that almost make a face. Now, let's see what else we can see here, guys. I know the resolution isn't as clear. I think we got some lions. Lots of lions. Maybe even, maybe our pictures of Royal York will be better online. Let's see, maybe higher def here. Let's see what we got. Okay, so there's our phoenixes, right? They line this whole sort of level here. Curly whirlies. See those? Yeah. All right. So now, just so you kind of get an idea of where the Royal York Hotel is. So it's so you can pull up a map of us for us here. Oh, actually, this is the map. Let's see. Okay, so there's the Royal York. There's Union Station. This is the whole financial district. Now, what I did is I came out of Union Station. I walked here, and then I walked north up here, and then into a little street back here. And I take a look at this building here. So that's sort of where we're going to journey to. Okay, so let me back out of here. And let me try to find some other. So there's our phoenixes. Oh. Okay. What do we got here, guys? Now, I don't know. So there's a trident, right? These are like some kind of seahorses. Doesn't look too much like a like a Christian motif, but there you go. I don't know if that means anything to anybody, but that's one weird thing I noticed. What else we got? There's a nice shot of that. See, because it's not quite an eagle, is it? Right? Like it's a little bit of a mythical sort of bird here. Doesn't quite look eagle-ish. Looks a bit different to me. Okay, here we go. Gonna keep going here. Now there's... These look like resonator shapes to me. We know this clover shape. Anything with this very symmetrical. And again, the whole building is covered with this symmetrical stuff. We've got the knight's helmet, which again, there's a whole series on like, how did these guys even wear this stuff? How did they see out of it? There's never any opening to go to the bathroom in. I mean, what were these things, these knights, who you were never able to see? Like, how did they wear... I mean, some of them, the neck on some of these helmets, on these medieval suits of armor, I mean, a human neck could not fit in there. So that's a question we're asking, or what are suits of armor? It's interesting to see them here. Okay, and what do we got? We got a griffin. Or is that like a unicorn griffin? Kind of looks like that, eh? Yeah. Okay. And what do we have here? I found this really kind of creepy, guys. We have these ram's heads that come down, and they're like, they're part of the windows. They're all along the windows. Ram's heads. Thanks, Queen. Thank you, royal family, for this excellent... And it's not like the architects just had their way. You know, they're like, oh, just throw whatever kind of mythical or non-mythical creatures you can think of on there, Bobby. It really doesn't matter. The Queen's kind of... She's all willy-nilly about, you know, or the King's really willy-nilly about, you know, what we put on there. No, this is all by design. This is all by decree. It must have. It will have. We must show this. And it's... I don't know. To me, it's kind of creepy, right? We're taking some closer looks at the Royal York Hotel. Again, you see this curly-whirly here and a curly-whirly here? Okay, I just want to ask you guys, does that look like a face to you? Because these curly eyes, I don't know, and this is a stretch. And again, I'm sure I'm going to have somebody saying I'm crazy for even thinking this, but I keep seeing this. And there's actually a face in one of my earlier videos where I'm in U of T, where we're looking at an actual owl face that has the curly-whirly eyes like that. So again, the detail, fantastic. Let's go back to our write-up about Royal York to find out the history here and find out what they're going to tell us here. The history: the Royal York Hotel was not the first hotel built on the property. With the first hotel being built in 1843, known originally as the Ontario Terrace. After the original hotel was refurbished in 1853, the building was renamed the Swords Hotel, and then the Revere Hotel after a change in ownership in 1860. Thomas Dick bought the hotel back in 1862, renovated it again, and named it Queen's Hotel. In 1925, the Queen's Hotel was purchased by Thomas McGaw, and Henry Winnett, hoteliers of Upper Canada. What do you do for a living? I'm a hotelier. Of Upper Canada, who also owned the Queen's Royal Hotel in Niagara-on-the-Lake. Oh, we have to check that one out, eh, guys? Well, I'm sorry I don't have it here. I could Google it, but it's not part of the program, man. Winnett later acquired McGaw's interests in their hotels. However, after Winnett's death in 1925, his estate sold the Queen's Hotel to the Canadian Pacific Railway, run then by President Sir Edward Wentworthy Beatty. Later, Canadian Pacific announced its intention to demolish the Queen's Hotel to build the largest hotel in the British Commonwealth on its site. Prior to its demolition, the Queen's Hotel was billed as one of the largest and most comfortable hotels in the Dominion of Canada. Do we have a picture of the Queen's Hotel? We may. Oh, there it is. Yes. Okay. The Queen's Hotel. So that's what it looked like before. Still rather nice. Nothing like what we have now, but nice. It had a wooden picket fence, it looks like, unless that was an iron fence. Anyways, there it is. There's some haunted stories about the Queen's Hotel and the Royal York Hotel. But I digress. Let's go back to the history. Construction of the new hotel began in 1927 and was completed in 1929. Named the Royal York, the new hotel cost $16 million when it was built. It's about half the price of a house in downtown Toronto right now, or at least in Rosedale. Anyways, later, where are we? Construction, yeah. Okay, so it was completed in 1929, named the Royal York. The new hotel cost $16 million when built. The completed hotel featured over 1,000 guest rooms, each equipped with radios, private showers and bathtubs, a library, a 12-bed hospital. Wow. And a 20.1 meter tall telephone switchboard. Awesome. The hotel also operated St. George's Golf and Country Club as the Royal York Golf Club from 1930 to 1946, when the hotel's parent company, Canadian Pacific Railway, divested themselves from the golf course property. The building was officially opened on the 11th of June 1929 by the Viscount Willingdon, the Governor-General of Canada, in one of the most glittering social events in Toronto history. The Toronto Board of Trade hosted a luncheon in the hotel's banquet hall for the EWBD and the board of directors of the Canadian Pacific Railway. After the luncheon, the Governor-General registered as the first guest of the hotel. During the afternoon, guides showed guests around the hotel. The day finished off with an opening ball at 9 p.m., with over 2,300 people attending. Several politicians and notable people from the U.S. and Canada attended the opening of the hotel. The opening of the hotel was front page news in the Montreal Gazette on the 12th of June 1929. And the hotel had 19,800 square feet of Canadian linoleum flooring upon opening. Wow, well, that's something, eh? Amazing. Okay, so that's a little bit of the history. Now let's get back into my pictures. So, again, we're seeing some weird imagery. Now, I started walking further north of the Royal York, sort of inspecting the mud flood evidence that we're seeing all around here, and B, just what the surrounding buildings might entail. So I found this building. Now this is 2 streets up. Let's go back to the map here and let me see if I can show you. So I came along here. I went up here to Wellington. I don't know if I can. I'm gotta get better with the map. But anyways, so watch, they're gonna put me inside the Royal York. Okay. So yeah, so let's go up here. So I went walking up beautiful Toronto. It is a beautiful city. I know, I got my fears about the corruption and things like that. But so I came up here, walking up. I'm looking at this building off to the right, because it kind of seems like it might even be a bit of a part of the whole Royal York kind of scene here, right? So let's see if I can pull this over. I can look behind me, That's what I'm hoping to do. Let's see. Can we look behind us now? Won't let me, eh? Well, let's see what pictures I find anyways. So I'm looking at this place. And first of all, I'm seeing a lot of prominent things. So this peacock shape here, this is everywhere. And I don't think it's just like, it's how we do all of our doorways and archway. There's really no need for arch here. There's not an arching window. Maybe there used to be. But this peacock kind of thing here, this shows up all over the place. Now, if any of you have done any research or read into any of the pedogate stuff, we know that checkerboards can be seen as signifiers of what buildings and certain things are. Okay, now again, we have the peacock. This shape, again, is showing up. This emblem here, this is Toronto Club. This is going to come up more on my walk. As I start to go along, I start to see that this sort of shows up. And along with this insignia comes the animal symbols and the other symbols that kind of go along. Now, Toronto Club is linked with the University of Toronto. It's got a whole lot going on, and I'm suspicious of the Toronto Club, and it's likely people are not going to be super happy with me dissing that, but I don't know. Just as we go through this video, I'll point out a few more places where I see that sign, and it seems like a private club. Anyways, so yeah, so now we got checkerboards. We've got the peacock here. We've got, the lamps that we've come to see. We've got the columns that we're used to seeing. All free energy stuff, in my opinion. But then something really took my breath. And here it is, guys. This is etched in the stone. This is right on the face of this building. I bet you. There you go. That's what it is, guys. That's what's on this building. Okay, if that doesn't strike you, I don't know what to say, man. That is the all-seeing eye. That is in a spiral, and at the very heart of the spiral, they've made sure it looks like the shape of an eye. Okay, and that's on this building that has checkerboards and a lot of the stuff that we've come to know. Okay, so now again we have our iron fencing with all our points and everything like that. We've always considered that being, or I've considered that being a part of free energy. Here we go. This is what else now. This is what has taken over that whole area. There's black towers of finance. So that's what we're left with here at the Royal York Hotel. Again, we've got kind of creepy faces, not super welcoming, sort of like who goes there kind of a face. And this one looks slightly, maybe more grim. Maybe it's the same face. I don't know. And then across the street, sort of northwest, we've got more checkerboards. We got our little pyramid shapes, or the triangular shapes all up top. Got a few of our kind of known things we see. We got our arched windows and these arrows sort of put into all that free energy style architecture. Like even inside this shape, we have again another little pyramid with a peacock, or this, I don't know if it's like a sun god thing, maybe with this, like the rays of the sun kind of coming out. I'm not really sure. All I know is it shows up again and again and again, way too many times to be insignificant, if you ask me. So yeah, I continued my walk. Let's see if I can get out of here and take us on the walk that I took. So I continued on my walk. I went north, and I headed up. I feel like Spider-Man when I'm looking at it from here. Yeah, so I went up here to City Hall, and this is sort of Osgoode Hall, this whole area here. So I came down here because I knew there's this crazy fence here. There's this iron fence. Let me just hang my little dude out here. No, don't prop me there. I don't want to be there. You got to go there. No, I don't want to go there. Okay, you're there. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, we got this really, this is City Hall. And then we got this crazy fence here. And you'll see, like, it's got lots of different things, but it's almost like you could imagine, that it's got this like design meant for symmetry and meant to resonate. They've got so many of these shapes that I keep seeing over and over again. Let's just see if my pictures are going to show us a little more. Yeah, so here, look at this. So we've got these resonator shapes overlapping each other, which is pretty incredible. And then we have columns, right? They have similar attributes to regular columns we would see, which I think is pretty amazing. The whole thing, it's now what I thought was funny is we've got this beaver kind of motif or something going on here. These are beavers, but you can't really tell too much from the photos, but it is so obviously metal from a different time. This is like from a newer time. Like this metal up here was definitely, in my opinion, added later. So I decided to go inside. Amazing gates. Look at this stuff, guys. Awesome. You can just walk in here. It doesn't look like you can, but you can just walk right in. There's no, like, the gates are actually just two overlapped gates. They don't actually have to swing open. They can close it, but it just sits open. You can walk through. So I'm approaching this building, and all I can see when I get there is just mud flood evidence everywhere. This building, like, look, if you look down here, in behind this, it's just a doorway down there. Again, the detail, the columns. This is all right outside of City Hall. This is Osgoode Hall. Pretty awesome. Again, we got ground floor windows. We got sub-level windows, as we've come to know. Here we go. We got our, there's our peacock shape, or clamshell, it almost looks like in this one. And we got our curly-whirly eyes. I don't know. I just keep seeing a face in that. And maybe that's just me. So yeah, quite an impressive building. And then we got our Tartarian look. We probably got our fake date where it's like, yeah, this was built. And then 10 years later, we decided to build this red brick, not quite so fancy thing. Attach it to it. Okay, now we're on University Avenue. This building, I believe, is the Canada Trust building. And it is something to behold. It's weird. I think is it 13 across on the top level? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 across, which I thought was, you know. But anyways, not that big a deal, I suppose. But still, amazing sight, an amazing sight here in Toronto. Look at that, guys. Perfect symmetry. Okay, and then we got the American Eagle. This is on the American Embassy here. But again, the Tartarian Eagle for sure. Just the American one. We talked about that in my Tartarian videos, and that's okay. Well, I warned you guys, it's going to be just a long sort of trip down my down through my photos. And I'm going to, move you guys on to the next set, okay? We continue with University Avenue. Found lots of stuff here now. This is a giant obelisk that has Isis on the top, surrounded by lions. Okay. All things we've come to expect. Standing on a sphere. Could be considered the planet, although we know most of us are pretty sure it's flat. Okay, I've got some other pictures of this to show you in a sec. But I mean, this is all over downtown, guys. This is without shame, without hiding. I mean, this is here. They make sure that we get a good look at it. This. Oh, am I going backwards? Let's see what we got. Oh. Okay. Now here's something I'm going to be doing in a video on soon. The use of the Cicadius. This is a very interesting symbol, and you've probably seen it many places. You see it a lot on banks. You see a lot on. You see it a lot for medical. There's this whole story about how, you know, the medical society got it confused and started using a version of it to be for medical society, which I don't know, is kind of weird. But look at the resonator shapes in here, guys. We got a swastika shape there that we've learned about that becoming a resonator shape. We've got this, you know, anything with really good symmetry could be a resonator. But I wonder, we see so much of this type of stuff in architecture. I really wonder, like, you know, what is it doing? Is it just a mere pattern, or is there something about this repeating pattern, the way that it's going around, that is a resonating shape? Awesome building there. Let's see now. Okay, let's get another close look at our Isis figure here and what this monument is all about. Now, this is celebrating, you know, our victory in some war. I think it was an African war, probably where we went there and just did awful things to people who did not want us there. Let's just see if I can find, yeah. To the memory and in honor of the Canadians who died defending the Empire in the South African War. Yes, defending the Empire. Good on you guys. Thank you for making South Africa the place it is. Yeah. So yeah, they have this huge, you know, Queen is sending us all, you know, and they even took time to do the eyes blue. The celebration of probably some atrocities that were committed. I mean, that's not a kind man. Sorry. Relief of Kimberley. Okay. So I was just, rolling, walking along, taking as many pictures of things that interest me. Now again, I want to show you guys, here's a good example of, okay, so this is the corner of a bank. Peacock with the curly whirlies. It's its own little thing, man. Just put up there. No, is this just is this just a design that people end up liking or copying or whatever? But why is it all the time? Over and over and over again? I don't know. So, there's another, that's not a curved one, that's a flat one, right? This is all on a bank that's right across the street near University and Queen. Okay, so that was some awesome stuff I saw there, and I'm just going to keep pushing through here, guys. I've taken so many pictures. Look, this one's from March 26th till April 6th, but there's a place on Spadina called Knox College. If you're standing at Spadina and College, you can look north, and you'll see this. It just sort of divides Spadina in half. This was recently renovated, and yeah, they did a pretty good job on it. They really maintained the original luster of it. Probably learn a little bit of the history of Knox College, actually. I should have pulled that up. Sorry, guys. Just bear with me. On Spadina. Whoops. Spadina. I like to add the history of this one here. Okay. Here we go. Okay, the parcel of land known as Spadina Crescent first appeared on maps of Toronto as early as 1835. Originally named Mansfield's Old Gardens and then Crescent Garden, there is the intention for the city to turn it into a park after Dr. Baldwin's death. However, the conditions for this were never met, and his grandchildren sold the land in 1873 to the Honorable J. McMurrick of the Presbyterian Church. Ah, another churchman. For 10 grand. Nice. The building was originally the home of Knox College, a theological college of the Presbyterian Church in Canada. Knox College became affiliated with the University of Toronto in 1887, and in 1914 moved to its current location on the west side of King's College Circle. During the World War I, the building became barracks, and shortly afterwards, the Spadina Military Hospital. For a period in 1918, Amelia Earhart worked as a nurse's aide at the hospital. It remained as a veterans hospital until 1943, when it was acquired by the University of Toronto's Connaught Medical Research Laboratories, which became one of Canada's main centres for the development and manufacture of pharmaceuticals. The building was in disrepair at this point and needed substantial renovations. It was also around this time that the basement was excavated. In the 1960s, it was proposed that this building be demolished to make way for the Spadina Expressway, which was never built. It became an academic building again in 1972 with the sale and a relocation of the laboratories. Okay, so let's go back to my pictures. Let's see if I can find it here. No, USA. Okay, so I'm walking around the building. It's nice. You can walk up close. Again, here we go. We have this resonator shape done in the glass. So if you can imagine, I don't know if you've caught this in other videos, but if you can imagine if you're looking directly at a cut wire, like one of those thick cables that's all sort of wound copper, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see a thick piece of copper right in the middle, or a thick piece of wire in the middle, and then you're going to see smaller cables wrapped around it, all kind of in that line. This is the idea around this metal in the windows being a resonator. And again, you see lots of resonator shapes. We got the portholes, we got stupa style cones, and we've got symmetry going like crazy around here, right? Okay, we've got our, again, columns. It's a beautiful building, guys. This triangle right here, you can almost imagine it being like an all-seeing eye kind of thing. Incredible. Oh, we got our little clover shapes up here. Things we've come to see as resonators. Okay, now we have a lot of these gargoyle type things. Let's see if it clears up for us. Okay, this one definitely looks like an eagle. Has it lost its head or something? I don't know. It's a bit strange looking there. Got an eagle. 1874, says that keystone. Okay. Founded in 1844 by the Free Presbyterian Church as a seminary, Knox College was named in 1846 to honor Scottish reformer John Knox. After the 1861 Union of Presbyterians, it remained as the only Presbyterian theological school in Toronto. This Gothic revival structure, the college's fifth home, was designed by Toronto architects Smith and Gemmell in 1875. The college received its charter to confer degrees in theology in 1881 and affiliated with the University of Toronto in 1887. It moved to the new premises on King's College Circle in 1915. This building has housed a series of occupants, including the Spadina Military Hospital, Connaught Laboratories, a world leader in the development and manufacture of vaccines, insulin, and penicillin, purchased in 1943, largely for penicillin production. The University of Toronto acquired the property in the 1870s. Okay, a little more history. Now, do you guys remember when we were at Knox College in the university, we saw a crocodile? Well, here's a crocodile again, guys. For some reason, that's important. Haven't figured out why. So if it wasn't important to us, then who was it important to? That's the kind of questions I'm asking. I mean, if we didn't have a reason for crocodiles in our Presbyterian church design, like, you know, I just don't understand. Okay, there's a better picture of that crocodile. Lots of fruits and vines and stuff. We love making stone depictions of that. It's quite the building. Hey, what do we got there? I'm gonna take a little closer look at that. What's that? What are these here? Are these just more come on. Is that as clear as we're gonna get it? I'm afraid it is. Yeah, unfortunately, I think some of my pictures are gonna get worse. Not in this one, but I had a camera on my other phone that was really, really good, and it just made for zooming in, like, was really awesome. But now, this one is still with that camera, but in my future videos, I'm probably going to have less. Look at this. This is kind of interesting. They put this interesting archway into this corner. Maybe it's to help, you know, continue this sort of extra angle that they put on here. But I just thought it was a very interesting architecture. Now, if you see, we got this arrow thing going on. That's a very common thing we see in the architecture that I think has been used as a resonator. Now, I mentioned this in my ROM video, how much Toronto architecture, the old architecture, is being altered or added onto by this new blocky black, funny angled additions that just kind of, like, if you look at the ROM now, it's got this crazy thing sticking out of it. And same with the AGO, it was this beautiful, like, old building, and then they just added this big weird metal and glass structure to kind of change the shape of the building, and I think it just takes away from its power and its resonators. But this building is especially interesting, and I'll show you why in a minute. I mean, as if it hasn't been enough already, but in the renovations, they started, see how they have this interesting mound here? They kind of surrounded it with mounds, and in fact, you know, they just left this in place. Like, I know it has this snow fence here, but this is part of the design. These giant rolling mounds of mud. You know, it's almost like they're saying, yeah, there's like, it's a nod to mud flood. And I'll show you this one picture of the other side of this Knox College on number 1 Spadina. This is right across the street from it, which is also has a lot of interesting architecture too. I mean, this is it's got the columns again. This is right across the street on the other side of college, and then it's got our curly whirly faces, I like to call them now. Since this video, I wasn't calling them curly whirly faces till this video. You were present for when I first started calling them curly whirly faces. But again, the curly whirly face, man. Oh, this one's got like chains hanging off of it. But what's that face? What's that? Come on, clear up for us. Come on, old camera. No? Well, I'll tell you, it's like some weird, like, bullish type face. Maybe it's one of those stonemasons that, one of the guys that killed the other. I don't know. But anyways, this is right across the street from it. I couldn't help but just zip over there and just just look over there and take a few. But again, kind of creepy, ugly faces. Look at this. It's like a face with what, like faces on the side. This is the Presbyterian Church, is it? This is what we want. This is what we want people to know. Let's not talk about the beauty of God. Let's put the grotesqueness of the devil into our architecture, because that's the way to ward it off. I just find that really strange. Okay, now look at this. This is the other side of that. You can just see the peak. Doesn't look anything like, it's not an addition to, like, it does not help this at all. But anyways, so I don't know. It's harder to see from this angle, but when you go further up Spadina and you look back, I swear to God, number one, it looks like a serpent. Okay, these are the two eyes, and when you get further up Spadina, you're kind of above this, and you can look down, and this is elongated out here. It comes out. It is almost like a serpent. Not only that, but this is ground level. Look what they've done, guys. They've excavated and pushed up to the side these earthen cliffs, and it goes down into this part that they've renovated, and you can now access the lower part of the building from an excavated area. So you're actually entering the building at what could be, argued that it maybe was the original level for the entrance, and now they've made it accessible so you can go into this building at the original level it was at. And then they actually leave these giant cliffs as if they're showing you they're, parting the Red Sea basically for you to go down into what was the original construction. I mean, this isn't the original, but it's just a facade that leads you. You can even see through the glass. The old building walls are just inside there. Just thought it was interesting. You can see here again, we've got these cliffs, and they're just put in there and left in there. It's a part of the design, man. So yeah, I kept coming around, checking it out. There you go. Like, is that not crazy? And this is how they're doing it in Toronto everywhere. They're throwing these weird angles, this steel black structure up against these kind of majestic, artistic, frilly buildings. And they just sort of slap these straight lines and squares and just put it on there. I don't know. Don't like it. It's it's your own, you like what you like, I guess. I'm not going to. But again, this is across the street. This is all of downtown Toronto. We got tons of mud flood. Look, I just took a picture of this. This is an old turn of the century building, but look at this awesome lamp here. That wasn't the original. There was probably some cool lamp thing hanging down here, which would have looked awesome. But yeah, dragons again. What's up with the dragons, guys? What do we know about dragons? Again, yeah. So that's a little check out of the Knox College building, number 1 Spadina. Just arrows, all the things we've come to expect from Resonator buildings. Yeah, there's a close-up. This is that building across the street from it, okay? This is like, what that looks like? It looks like the bad guys in Jabba Hutt's palace, the guards, right? Like, it's like some kind of warthog, demon, piggy thing, right? Why is that a part of the architecture of the Presbyterian Church, Knox College? Or did they find it and use it for their own purposes and just kind of just not really explain why we're looking at that kind of stuff? Okay, so speaking of carvings, we're on carvings. I'm just going to take you through some carvings that I've found along Toronto. So this is on College Street here. That's not a great picture, so I'm just going to move past that. The Empire Block is the name of this block on College Street, which I thought was interesting. The Empire Block. We all know that, it's the Queen's Empire, or is it? Is it the Tartarian Empire? Again, almost, you can almost not see it, but what do we have here, guys? We have, like, Egyptian suns, right? Just completely lost with the paint and everything else and the rust and everything that happens here, but they're there, right? this iconography or that's like not indicative of whatever this building's probably supposed to be like 1805. I mean 1895 or 1905. Here we go. Another. It was very important for them to put this up. It's just the same as the other ones I was showing you guys. These are all different carvings that just sort of pop up. And you walk by them. I lived on this street when I first came to Toronto 25 years ago. And until my mud flood research, I didn't even think for a second. I mean, I may have admired a little bit of architecture. But, you know, even these, well, they're not parabolic curves. But let's see. I'm going to keep going here. Okay. Lions. This is on Spadina Avenue. This is another building. Awesome lion picture there, or carving. Let's see. That's another one. And these are just buildings that are used for almost nothing now. Okay, we visited Castle Frank, and that was a pretty cool area. Castle Frank area in Toronto. There's actually a subway stop. It's a few stops east of the Yonge station. And it's an area called Castle Frank, a pretty old area. And we just saw some awesome old houses, some really old walls, and this park here. Let's see, what was this park? I probably took a picture of the sign. But check out the gates, guys. Yeah, really awesome. Just a little out of the way spot, just up from, here we go. 1903, they're saying this is put in. 1903. Got the lamps. Look at this stuff. Beautiful. Incredible work. Yep. Okay, and you can just walk right into this place. Again, it's like another, just sort of, you might miss it if you don't take a second. Oh, see that? Never mind. Yeah. So these gardens are presented to the people of Toronto as a memorial of Edmund Boyd Osler and Anne, his wife, by their children. 1926. Here, amidst his children and grandchildren, his flowers, trees, and birds, Edmund Boyd Osler made his home from 1877 to the date of his death in 1924, I think that says. Okay, yeah, so it was cool, man. This old carriage house here. Thought that was really awesome. Got these big spheres at the top. Look at this cool weather vane. It's like a car on it. That's awesome. No. Beauty pictures of Beauty Toronto. This is a crazy mansion that was there. You know, you feel kind of funny. People are still living there, but it's got these great lamps. And oh, bit of mud flood here. See here? It's coming up. Some more mud flood. Ground sunken windows. Pretty crazy front entranceway. Look at that. And this all means nothing, does it? Got these cones. It's kind of like almost like obelisk style stuff. Wow. More sunken windows. Yep. Pineapple. Pineal gland. See a lot of pineapple shapes in imagery, and my wife contends that it has to do with the pineal gland and control of it, and that's what it often symbolizes. Again, a couple of pineapples there. All right. So yeah, it was quite a walk down through the Castle Frank area. This is another really great house. More coach houses. Oh yeah, this has a fish. Interesting. Yep, mud flood. Okay, that's the end of the Castle Frank area. I'm going to skip the write up on that. Okay, West Annex. This is a good little walk I took. Take you through a couple of spots again. What is that? Why would we build it like that, guys? Park home. I don't know why we would have windows along the road like that. Some more. Get a lot of these sort of peaked round rooms in Toronto as well. You can see there's a few peaks here going along. Now, in the argument of free energy, they can, if stupas and obelisks are going to have that shape in order to harness energy, it makes sense that these rooms would be serving the same function. Seeing a lot of these giant arches too, which I think is a beautiful part of the architecture down here. That was just a quick bit of now, Kensington Market, well-known place, but if you look up at a few spots, there's a few synagogues and things, but it also has some pretty amazing architecture and signs of mud flood. Okay. Here we go. Look at this. Just look at the detail there, guys. Columns going straight up to the top. 1890. Okay. And then we have a ball right at the very top. And see how they're stacked? This is all, to me, it looks like a machine, like something where things are meant to travel up and then apex and then boom, or energy comes down and then is distributed through the columns and then down into the. It's pretty awesome. So this is a shul, this is synagogue, this is a synagogue in Kensington Market. I took this picture at night. I just really loved how it looked. But again, we're seeing these portholes sort of being put to good use here, if they are resonating shapes, or if they're being put in a group like that for a certain effect. It's believable to me. Okay, so I made it through that one. There's a couple more. Now, me and my wife, we went down to Exhibition Place, and that was an awesome date. We saw so much cool stuff when we went down there. So this is just on our way down. We're coming down. Actually, that was on my way home from dropping off my son. But here we go. So we're on our way down to Exhibition, and this is something I'm wondering about. Who is this bearded man? A bearded man like this shows up a lot in the architecture. There's a place called Guildwood Park where I took a picture of a lot of things, and that was one of the things that kept showing up. Was this face, and he keeps showing up on a lot of buildings. But anyways, I'm just gonna. So many of these carvings. What do they mean? Who are they? All right, you know what, guys? This video is getting to be about an hour. So I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to stop here, and I'll probably continue with the Exhibition Place pictures, because that is something where I would hate it to be at the end of a video when half the viewers have already moved on after about 30 minutes. So I'm up to about an hour here, so I'm probably going to cut out here. I'm hoping to do another one soon. I've taken some time off to just relax. But this is a light one, guys. I just wanted to take you through some of the pictures I've been getting, and I'm hoping that it's going to give you guys some food for thought and keep you looking up and at the buildings you're passing by every day. Yeah, and not a lot of research. I didn't put a lot of research into this one video, but there was a lot of boots on the ground kind of stuff where I was just taking things in. So yeah, if you got any insights to any of these buildings that I've shown, please, yeah, just drop a line. To all you trolls out there and people trying to make it hard for truthers, I guess you got your job and we got ours. But you know, I'm just gonna say to the truthers and people who are out there trying to figure some stuff out, trying to figure out some of the secrets, just keep doing it, man. And even if it's only in small bits, like me, I don't have it in me to do this every single day. But I got other things going on. But anyways, that's some interesting stuff I've found, and I hope you guys have a great week. I'll try to hop back in here, or at least on my laptop, in the next week and throw up another video. So, yeah, have a great evening or day whenever you're watching this. And yeah, appreciate some feedback, and be looking out for your videos as well. Okay, guys, have a great time. See you later. Bye.